Emmett, can you just take us through the final drive? I mean, obviously you're in a tough spot on the road against a great team, down 6 points, and you lead one of the best drives in BC recent memory. Just how did you do it, and what's the emotion like after that?
I think it's really easy to get caught up in the outside pressures of the situation and the crowd noise and all that stuff. But when it boils down to it, it's just executing your job, and it's no different than any other part of the game. It just becomes more important. And I was really happy with how our line strained and protected for an extra half a second to get the ball out, and guys making plays across the board. It's really fun. It's really fun to be out there when guys are excited and the ball is moving, and that's a really good team. I have a lot of respect for that defense. It's very veteran, and they played really hard.
We'll go to Graham.
Emmett, it's only your second career start, but obviously you handled the pressure really well. Coach was talking about how you haven't even gone through many, 2-minute drills or final 2-minute drills in practice yet. How do you just sort of hone in those last few minutes and take the pressure?
Something I think about a lot. 2-minute drills end up deciding a lot of games, and it's so important to understand, what you need and what you can hit. And it's something I feel like you can always work on. It's really hard. 2-minute drills are really hard. You have a lot on your plate, and I just think the more I go through the possible scenarios before the games and our plays and how we can attack their defenses, the better. And, it's really hard to play against that pretty much drop 8 coverage and try and throw the ball. But we made some good plays, and there's a lot to clean up as well. There's a lot of stuff on film that we're going to have to be critical of. But at the end, it's a win, so that's all that matters.
Dan?
Emmett, you and the freshman class and being or redshirt freshman class and sophomores and the younger guys, being able to connect with those guys in practice and then be able to translate that in a game, and to have the success too. What has that meant for you guys? And do you talk a little bit about internally about, hey, if we can get our chance, we can build this thing for the future too around what we can do?
We have a lot of young talent, and I think it's really hard losing so many guys that were 5th and 6th year guys last year, especially at the O-line position, obviously. But the young guys are the future, and I spend a lot of my time after practice in the off season, whenever I can, working and hanging out with the young guys like Joe and Dante, and we have actually so many. Now I'm thinking about it, but that chemistry, it's very exciting to see all that that fade, the last play of the game, and it's something that I'll always remember. But I've thrown that exact same back shoulder fade to Joe hundreds of times now in practice, and I think that's kind of where I'm able to keep my composure, is just through my preparation. And I feel like whenever I take the field, I'm really prepared for a lot of different scenarios, and it pays off. It really does.
Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, Evan, congratulations. There's been a lot of noise around this coaching staff and the job that they've done. As players, what does this mean to you to get this win for them?
Could you say that one more time?
There's been a lot of talk, just around the coaching staff and the job that they've done this year. As players, what does it mean for you guys to get this win for the coaches?
Well, yeah, we win for the players and the coaches and the staff. It's a collective effort, and the coaches have really been dealt a tough hand with injuries, not as much to work with, and a lot of guys are taking reps for the first time, like me, in games. So they've been dealt a really hard hand, and it's not easy to work with a lot of guys that are trying to pick up, offensive linemen that are picking up brand new defensive line stunts and blitzes, and a team like NC State that has so much exotic stuff. I'm really proud of those guys. It's so hard to do, and I think for these coaches, it means a lot to take off a ranked team, and at the end of the day, it's just fun to be in that fight with a good team like that for 60 minutes and ultimately 4 hours. I mean, people forget how long those games really are. But yeah, staying locked in for 4 hours and coming out with a win is just so much fun. It makes everything, all that work and all that sacrifice, really pay off, and feel, you just feel a lot of gratitude at the end of the day.
Trevor?
Coach Affley was just saying he probably should have played Dino Tomlin a little earlier in the year just because he's doing so well in practice and he's pretty impressive, which I thought was kind of funny as you're smiling now. But what has he done to impress you, and what was it like seeing him step up on that final drive there, especially?
Dino's my guy. I put in a lot of work with him after practices. He's always ready to get extra catches and run extra routes. And those are the guys that I'll go into battle with any day of the week. Anyone that's willing to sacrifice like that. And when it pays off, it makes me so happy for him. You know, he's a guy that went from a scholarship at Maryland to a walk-on position here, and he's earning everything here. And no saying, you know, what'll come of that for him, but I'm really happy for him. You know, it's really good to see people that work that hard reap the reward of all that sacrifice.
All right, last two, Graham and then to Dan.
Emmett, Zay made history today for BC becoming its all-time receiving yards leader, and your name's always going to be connected to that feat in the history books. And I'm just wondering what was the connection like between you two tonight? How happy were you for him? Did you guys talk about it at all in the locker room? Is everyone just really psyched for him?
That's actually interesting you said that. I'm not sure a lot of people were aware of that, which actually speaks more to Zay than anything. He just went out and played, and not really for himself, which now that you say that, I actually appreciate that even more. I wasn't aware of that. And it's just fun being out there with him. I gave him a crossing shallow route that usually picks up 5 or so yards, and then it goes 40 for a touchdown. So when you have guys like that, it makes quarterback's life so much easier. You know, it's 4 first downs you don't have to get in a whole red zone drive you don't have to do when he can turn the corner and make the plays he can. And I love his energy. You know, we need more people like that in this world. Just unrelenting positivity.
Dan, last one.
Emmett, not sure, kind of building off of that. This is the first consensus ranked team that BC's beaten in a number of years. Not even sure if you were in high school the last time it happened, but for you, you know, just to be able to have a part of that too, for the program, for the players that came before you, and building on what you guys are building on. When you're able to walk into a place on the road and do it too, just what does that kind of indicate to you about this program, its foundation, and where this team can go?
It's all built around Coach Affley. Obviously, everything revolves around him, and he's a really special person. And I don't mean that for headlines or anything. I mean that genuinely. Every drive that I struggled with, he came over and he's like, "I believe in you, and just keep your head up, you know, and keep a short mind, and you know, just like move on each play." And there's some plays that I really wanted back. I was really upset about, and kind of the carelessness with the ball that I was really upset about, and like his patience and confidence in me to just keep calming me down and keep believing that, you know, it'll pick up and it'll get, you know, better with me throughout the game. I think it's rare with coaches. You know, he's under a lot of pressure, and I really appreciate that he doesn't change. He stays true to himself, and I think that means a lot to players. You know, when you have someone that you know is going to go to war with you, and yeah, it's just fun to be a part of something like this. You can feel it kind of going uphill, and it's not about the wins and losses this season. To me, you know, I'm really focused on the process, and I think the process is really good for us. Like, we put in great work every week. We're very prepared every week, regardless of the score, and that'll pay off, you know, like it did tonight, and it always will.
Thanks, Emmett.
Yep. Hopefully I didn't wake your baby.
Oh, she's good, Emmett. Thanks.